Welcome to Us versus Movies. I'm your host, Dustin. Today I have Kevin with me, as always.
Hey, thanks for having me, as always.
Would it be a show without you? Just be one man, lonely, talking about movies that he possibly picked or was recommended to him. Speaking of which, Kevin, you picked Greyhound this week.
I thought it was about the buses that go across the country that people get murdered on.
God damn it. I was like, man, are we going to make it a whole episode without a bus joke? But
no, we got to get it out of the way. Is what you wanted to do.
No, it's horrible. PG-13, 1 hour and 31-minute runtime, action drama history. Go ahead.
The buses or the movie?
The movie Greyhound, starring Tom Hanks, written by Tom Hanks, and based on a novel that no one gives a fuck about. And directed by Aaron Schneider. He's done some stuff. Look him up if you give a fuck, because you might not know any of it.
Wait, hold on. Pull it back, man. Apparently, C.S. Foster wrote the book The Good Shepherd, and Tom Hanks gave a shit because this is the only reason the movie got made. He wrote the motherfucker. He directed it damn near. He probably told Aaron what's good. And
I did think he had directed it. I was like, oh, he didn't direct this? Oh.
Dude, like, this is a love letter. I could picture Mr. Hanks reading this book going, this is fucking fantastic. We're going to fucking do this. We're doing the Greyhound. Because that's what they call it in the book. And they're like, Tom, what are you doing out there? He's like, I'm talking to myself, bitch. Stay out of my life.
I don't know if that happened per se, but it does have Elizabeth Shue in it for just a hot minute. We'll get into that when it happens. Elizabeth Shue, still going. Still,
Yeah, she's alive? Cool.
She's alive. I enjoy her performance. I'll leave it at that. In general, I mean, they don't give her anything to work with, but the paper box she's put in, she does quite well. I'll just say that. Man. And then Stephen Graham, who you'll know from Snatch, should only do English or American accents. So there, I said that.
Wait, you want an Englishman to do nothing but American accents?
Yes, he should. Unlike other people, hot take, I don't think they're not a hot take, but there's just some people do have a better American accent than English accent.
What? Wait, hold on. Okay, you're saying this dude's native mother tongue is not as good as his bullshit acting American accent, which is basically no accent, especially in certain regions?
Yeah.
What? That's just rude.
It's acting.
No, dude, you're not talking about his acting. You're talking about the way the man speaks in his everyday.
Well, I mean, yeah, but the English accent's bullshit. They just made that to sound different from us, so whatever.
Wait, what? No, I don't think he was a baby going, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to speak.
No, not him. His ancestors. Anyway.
That's all bullshit, that accent.
Yes.
The King's English.
The King's English, yes.
Wow. This isn't a hot take. This is
it's history. Look it up.
But oh, wow.
Okay, so here's the interesting, Kevin, you were like, oh, this is Apple TV, but Sony produced this. Tom Hanks was very sad that Sony sold this to Apple TV. He did not like that. He wanted a theatrical release. He wanted them to hold it until people could go see it in the theater. He didn't want it to be a digital thing. So he didn't. He referred to Apple as his Apple overlords several times on his Zoom press tour.
On his iPhone, he said these things?
Yes. Well, I don't know if possibly. But I don't know. He seemed very anti. Especially when they told him he couldn't have any personal stuff behind him when he was doing it. He had to have just like a blank wall. They were very specific on what he was supposed to do. So he was just kind of like,
he picked
fucking whatever. I hope you see my movie that I really loved making, but fuck these assholes. So.
And you know what? And by the way, I'm fucking going to get a Windows phone. Everybody's like, a what? They just started murmuring. It's like, is that a Zune?
Is he getting the Surface Duo? It looks really good. I just wish they would release the price and the date already. Yeah.
Is he getting a Zune? No, dude. He's getting a Windows phone. What the fuck is that? Is that when Sony makes a phone? Yeah. Just no one cares. But the other one, they didn't care about that other one. Yeah, no, he's going to get a phone from China, okay? I don't know what else his options are. It's either Apple or die, okay?
Apple's like the number 7 phone maker. I think
Apple will die, motherfucker. They make them every year.
Have you seen the Sony ones? They just keep getting longer. Like it's gonna be just like a normal phone. No, seriously, they have like an 8-inch long one, but the screen's super.
That's what she
thin,
said.
And
Whoa!
It just looks like a cordless phone. I'm just.
They don't. None of them have cords. Like, duh.
I know, but it looks like a cord. Like when you first had your cordless phone,
like a
it
home
looks
phone.
Like that. Yeah, like a VTech, like a VTech, with the base. You put in the base. That's what their new cell phone looks like.
Dude, maybe Tom Hanks maybe he's got the Note. He's got the new one. Looks cool.
Probably. Maybe he's got the Fold. He's like,
dude, those things suck.
He's like, I'm waiting for the Fold 2, motherfucker.
Unless you guys have one, if it's sweet, let me know.
They're like, it's not. I broke it very easily.
Apparently, I didn't get the Fold. It was a cheap phone that broke.
It was cheap. I folded it in half. Wasn't very good.
Well,
hurt my handle.
Mr. Hanks could be a grumpy puss about it all he wants, but it was Apple TV's like #1 thing they've ever done.
Well, I mean, that's because every other movie Apple TV has tried to buy has been ripe with controversy right after they buy it, and so they've had to like shit can most of them. So they're just like, "Fucking really? Damn
it!" Man.
But also, most of their movies. So Apple TV is to Sony what Paramount is to Netflix. So, like, this is where we go to sell and dump our movies.
Well, the interweb told me that despite Hanks grumbling last week, the star is going to work with Apple TV again, teaming up with Mr. Spielberg. Probably heard of him, and they're going back to WW2 for Masters of the Air.
Well, of course, that's because Spielberg was like, I got to get on this streaming shit. So, yeah, I mean,
Spielberg was like, "Fuck you! I got 2 apples." Everybody's like, "What does that mean? Give me the money!
Give me money!" Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm just saying he was gutted. I don't think it was like anything super deep against Apple. It was just like, I wanted it to be, I wanted a chance at an Oscar. And they're like, well, good news. We blew up all those requirements this year. So
sweet.
So, Kevin, we're in what world war is this? 1, 2?
It's dose, man. It's 2.
Oh, the good one.
Debatable, but I see what you're saying.
The good one. The one we all enjoy. No one's sitting there making the fucking one. Other than that, like, Christmas where everyone played footy in the middle and gave each other gifts,
Yes, that did happen.
Yeah, I wasn't wrong. I wasn't just pull that out of my ass. Yeah, we're in World War II. Starts on a boat.
Yep. Good night, everyone.
And not a bus. Don't be confused.
So basically, they're going through the Atlantic, and they're running pretty much. This captain is the Good Shepherd. What is his name? What is his name in it? Krause?
Oh,
Cruz?
Shit, I have completely blanked, and I feel like an asshole for not. I just saw him and was just like, that's Tom Hanks. Shit, because everyone just calls him Captain too. Fuck, man, I don't know. All right,
Krause.
Krause, yeah, Krause.
Yeah,
Krause.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he's not called that at all. He's just always called Captain, but I assume that's from the book. So, yeah.
So basically, he's piloting this destroyer, right? He got overall command of this convoy. They're going to run through the Atlantic.
It's a massive convoy. They're in an annoying CG line.
It's all like, dude, yeah, it's all Allied ships. So they're trying to basically bust through the. There's this gap in the Atlantic, and they're like, listen, man, we got to defend these convoys. We're not going to be able to get air support.
Yeah, air support runs out. They can only go so far,
It's 1942 in the world's favorite war. Thank you, Dustin. And
It's the good one, not their favorite. It's the good one.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I guess so. He's been basically a naval officer forever, right? But he's never really seen any shit. The U.S. is now in there, and they're just like, "Hey, man, you might see some shit. This is a kind of an air quote wartime mission, and you're going to be a part of it." And he's like, "All right, man, I'm going to run it. I got my fucking team, and we're going to see what happens." That's kind of the long and the short of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it starts off. Is like you're kind of given that information, and then it cuts to Christmas because it's got to be Christmas, and he's waiting. He's very anxious and excited, and he's just waiting for obviously the love of his life to come around the corner.
And then someone's grandma turns the corner with a blonde wig, and you're like, "Ma'am, you're in the shot." And then it's Elizabeth Shue.
That's Evelyn. God, you're really shitting on her. I mean, yeah, granted, she's given nothing to work with. And I will say, this was my least favorite part of the movie, and you might disagree or whatever, Kevin, or just, I don't know. I think it's a very antiquated form of motivation and storytelling for this character to be like, oh, he's pining after the woman. They've known each other forever. I was just like, she seemed uncomfortable being there with him and like
that's what I mean.
Forced to give him a gift, and he was just like, "I'll wait for you forever, Evelyn." And she was just like, "Man, take a fucking hint."
I'm not knocking her. I thought Adventures in Babysitting was sick, but when she came into the shot, I was like, "Ma'am, you're an extra. Keep moving." And they're like, "That's Elizabeth," and I'm like, "Oh my god, why does she look terrified?" Is this her first movie ever? She just looked, like you said, she looked uncomfortable. She didn't seem comfortable in the clothes. She had that, "Do I really gotta be here?" And he's just kind of smiling like a big shit-eating grin. He's just like, "Hey, here's your ticket to the Poconos. We're gonna be together."
Well, I hate anytime we go into the past in movies and then it's just like, oh, this is how chivalry and gentlemen were back then. I'm like, no, men have been scum all throughout history. Don't fucking act like.
Oh, easy.
Come on.
Listen,
we fucking know this.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. They need to do this because the one big fault of the movie is there's no space. This movie is an hour and 30 minutes. So it's not your traditional, here's the Battle of the Atlantic, the theater presents you World War II. It's like, hey man, this guy's on a boat, he's gonna go see some shit. YOLO. And they're like, and then that's it. There's no like, he's not shipping out, we're not building up relationships. He's not a person or a character, I'll say, that's time to, we don't grow with him. We don't see him as struggles. We don't see any human aspects of him. There are some sprinkled throughout the movie, but everything in this movie moves a million miles a second.
Yeah.
Which is very cool at times and awesome because it achieves it achieves great tension to me. And I think it holds your attention. It builds the suspense. And you're like, man, you are all in. It doesn't let go. There's only a couple of times where it's like it purposely gives you a little bit of time to breathe. You maybe got like 5 seconds to adjust yourself, maybe shove something in your face and go, oh, fucking get him, Hanks. Every time you're in the ocean, shit goes down. And it's back. It's back. Like even the characters are just like, what? Oh, shit. We got some dead guys. Nope. Throw them in the water. We got to go. These fucking Nazis ain't fucking around. You're like, It's a lot of that.
All right, guys, slow down because you're just like jumping around the whole movie now.
No, I'm just using that as a point of like,
I get it. And that's why I find it so just shitty that this is like his motivation is like this love of his life that he's never had time for type of thing. I found that to be.
Well, the movie didn't even have time for it, so I bought it. I was like,
It was like just the most cliche storytelling device quite possibly ever used. And I think it didn't do the movie. It's like the one part of the movie where every time I thought of it, I was like, it just did not need this. It didn't need it. It didn't help anything. It's just kind of like, just for you at home to show he's a romantic.
I'll agree. They were just like, listen, man, we need like a female in this movie. And they're like, dude, we don't have any. We're on a dude boat. All right, this is dude
we're
boat.
on a dude boat during heavy dude boat time. Okay,
and I understand
only dudes on the dude boat.
There's nothing to really humanize him. There's nothing really to delve into his character other than he's. If these movies taught you anything, if it's 1942 and the war's going on, all the men did was either fucking die for their country and come back to someone they loved, and then to find out all they love to do is kill. That's it. That's all these movies ever teach you. They come back. What are you good at, boy? I'm good at killing. You want to be a cop?
I fucking loved it. You want to be a cop and fucking change America? Not for the good. I didn't say for the good.
That to me is
real mobbed up in the police force.
Did you ever see the Untouchables? It's just like that. You're like,
well, you get the badge. It's like, oh.
Did you ever see Tombstone? It's like that, but we wear suits and shoot everybody. Wait, what? And he gets TB and dies.
But who's the Huckleberry? Am I the Huckleberry? Or are you the Huckleberry?
You know what? Fuck it. We're shooting this guy.
Huckleberry.
But that's all these kind of like these period piece movies in a way teach you is they love their girl and from their hometown they go kill the opposition of people that aren't American, and then they come back and go, I did it, babe.
Gosh, I sure murdered a lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of good men die.
That's the cliche part, and I thought with the way this movie, the running time and the way their stories presented, I agree, you didn't need this. Like, he's a very religious man, you find out, and they book in the movie with that.
And that's that way more than his bullshit, pining after a woman.
Yeah, that was all I think you really needed to make him sensible, to make him relatable. Like, not everyone's religious, but you do understand if a character is, and you kind of let him have it, Yeah,
exactly. Because it's not like no one's, I've never been exposed to a very religious person. What's that like? Like, what world do you live in? Yeah. Like, he's instantly, if not relatable, understandable. Like, you'd be like, exactly. Oh, I understand him. So,
and I would have used this opportunity to present the time. Like, I would have just had him preparing to ship out and been like, hey man, you might see some shit on this run. And he's going to be like, what? I've never been in the shit. And they're going to be like, yeah, man, this area we're going to put you through. You're not going to have air cover, and you might run into the fucking Nazis, dude. They got these subs and they go hard. And he could have been like, oh shit, I've been chilling the whole time.
I mean, I didn't take it as he'd been chilling. I just took it as this was his first, finally got his first assignment as a captain.
Not chilling, but he's never been in any conflict. That's kind of from the book, right? So he's never engaged in any fucking warfare. But you don't know that. Yeah. And that's the thing that I would have been like, oh shit, he's really stepping up, because when he's in captain mode, I love it. I love when this movie gives no fucks if you don't know what they're saying or what they're doing. It's like, hey, pay attention, you'll figure it out, and if you won't, you probably won't like the movie. You'll go fuck off to the bathroom. I don't know. But that's one thing I super loved about it. It was just like, hey, man, we're going to do some Army boat shit. Let's go. And we're not stopping for anything. We're not explaining
Army
anything.
Boat shit? You mean
or Navy? I'm sorry. Some Navy boat shit. And
Army boat shit, fellas. Come on.
And it just goes full bore. It just goes 100% into it.
Well, let's continue going into it. So after the dreadful love interest motivation, where he gets slippers, monogrammed slippers. That's very important in a very small destroyer. It is. It fucking is, and you know it.
I don't think it is. And even when they do come back around, I was like, shrug.
It is. Anyway, so we're on the ship. He's waking up. He didn't sleep very well. We got to count down till air coverage. You see the convoy and everything. He's kind of he's informed of a fight, and he's like, bring the guilty parties forward. But then they get some notifications. So the two guys get off easy. My favorite guy, who's the guy from Snatch, he tells him, he's like, you guys got fucking lucky. He's like the little mouthpiece for him. He's like, Rrr. Well, that's love that guy. I thought he did great. Yeah, I thought he did great. I love that.
He's a second in command. He's just like, hey man, Captain don't talk, I talk. I'll call your shit out. He can't be bothered with your stupid shit. One thing I super liked, and you knew was going to be serious before they get to the guys in their little Brujah fisticuffs. You see these fighters, and they're circling them, and they're sending them like Morse code and stuff. They're like, "Hey man, you're on your own. You got, I think it's like 4 days to punch through this trench and just make it, or to punch through this patch of sea, and that's it." And there's no hand holding. They're just doing it. And you're like, oh, is this some sort of exposition? Oh no. Oh shit. They're talking to each other. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Military movie.
I love the use of Morse code and such throughout the entire thing. It was just like, yeah. And that's how they'd be like message. He'd be like, fucking just read it. I'm not, just read it. Like,
no, but that was the thing. They kind of weren't like that. He was just like, everyone like professionally did their role. There was no bullshitting. There was no like, hey, hey, Captain, I was just wondering, me and it was just everyone was on point.
Yeah. I loved how overall how they would look at him. So, fuck it, we're getting sidetracked again. Anyway. So they're doing the Morse code, they did the fight, and then there's they got a U-boat. Two of the what was it? Dickie and the fucking other boat. What the fuck was that boat?
It was like Dickie and Henry.
No, there was a third one, the bigger one. Well, anyway, two of them going off. They got a ping and they're just like they're fucking chasing it, and he's just like, "Get your asses back, because no, you're breaking formation. You're leaving us vulnerable. Get back." Meanwhile, they get the ping and they're just like, "Oh shit, we got a U-boat. We got a U." And that first scene, Kevin, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you agree. It was very intense. I like the way it played out. I like the trusting of his instincts. I loved how everyone just looked at him. And it's kind of like at first you're like, are they looking at him because they're like he's a mad genius? They're just like, we're all at the risk of dying, and it all depends on this guy, so we're just going to give him our utmost attention and just follow fucking commands, because that's all we can do in this situation is just listen to this guy and hope that he gets us through.
Like, I took it in the sense of, like, if you really pay attention, if you look at his whole crew, they're kids. They're all they're super young, and this is probably like their first outing of like, hey man, we're going to be in the shit. And him and the XO, they're clearly the seniors, and they all turned to him like, this dude, he's making chess moves right now. It's so out of their pay grade and out of their comprehension on the stuff that he's kind of trying to be like 5, 6, 7 steps ahead of these U-boats, because he's got a feeling something's up, and it's more than what it appears to be. Mm-hmm. And they're just like watching him like, dude, you're going to snap off a command, and if I don't get there, I don't want to let you down. Like, they're just fucking watching him like a hawk. And it's super cool. It helps build that tension, because like I said, it doesn't hold the audience hands. It just goes, and the whole room is in on it. So you're just like, oh wow, this is serious. Even if I don't understand what's happening, I can tell the characters are like, oh. Yeah.
No, I love the silent looks that they would give each other of just like, please pass on this. Like they had conversations like kind of just like out of the area of the story, and have came back and were like kind of looking at each other like, fucking, you need to say something now, because this is important that he knows this and we cannot bother him. Like, it's your duty, type of thing. But yeah, so they go out, they go after this fucking U-boat, and I fucking loved it. The sonar guy doing his thing. And just it's just real good. I mean, how much of this do you want to talk? I don't want to like go into boring details, but I really fucking could, because I really, especially the first scene, I really liked it a lot. So,
well, maybe I can like summarize it in a way where it literally kind of turns into a one-on-one. It's like a cat and mouse.
Yeah.
So the U-boat, the sub, is like straight fucking with him. It's almost like a gut check, and he wants to see, because this is the lead boat, and to me, the sub's just like, I need to see what you got. Because I'm about to light up your whole fucking team, and you don't know how many of us are there, and I'm going to kind of scout it out and see what kind of jabronis piloting this fucking team.
Well, and I kind of took it as like the U-boat wasn't supposed to be detected. Like he was just there to scout, and he kind of he fucked up and got too close, and then they were onto him, and now he was like, trying to shake him, and he's got all this ocean to work with, but he just couldn't quite shake him,
I took it as like the U-boat was testing them because it's kind of okay. Like, I'm just going to tell you what happens because it's not really poignant. It just kind of builds into it very quickly where it's just like, whatever. There's a pack of these guys, right? These U-boats they deem them a wolf pack, and that's what he's doing. He's the lead fucking U-boat, and he's checking them. He's like, I need to see how these guys react because once I go there and I send the message back that, hey man, this front ship, he's going to throw it down. And then you guys need to flank these fuckers and blow these other assholes from behind. And he's not going to be ready because he's going to be fucking dancing with me the whole time. And it's almost like they're kind of just like jockeying for position. It felt like a chess game to me where he was like, I'm going to move here. I'm going to move here. However you react, because the U-boats are ahead of them the whole time. They beat him to every punch.
So technically there's like 4 in front and 2 in the back. But the lead U-boat is in the back, and I think the Wolfpack is a great analogy. I think that's exactly how they play it out because they are kind of circling them, they are distracting, they're trying to pick them off, going for the weakest ones or the most vulnerable ones, and in that first one, I don't know. I mean, we totally have a different opinion on that, but I took it as more of like, shit wasn't supposed to go down like that because they had the other pings, but none of the others got close enough for anyone to engage with them. But on Hanks's ship, he was just like, fucking, we're close enough. We're gonna fucking try,
See, that's where
I kind of like appease these guys that are getting a little too crazy. That we're the lead boat. We do, we're in charge here. We're gonna take this guy out to show you. We got this shit because it almost felt like the other boats were kind of trying to jock for, I don't know, just to be the hunting ship in a way. So,
because here's the thing, this is what I took from it. Like that first U-boat shows up and they start playing like, oh, where's he at? I lost him. Where's he at? I mean, that U-boat, because Hanks is in a destroyer, right? So his shit's ready to fucking go, and they make them waste almost all their depth charges. Like they're dropping all the charges out, and he's.
Well, that's the later one. That's the later one.
But like they do. Go ahead.
They do like 6 charges, and then they don't even know if they got them. They're just like, "Fuck, did we get them?" And then finally, someone's like, "Oil," and you see it, and you're just like, "Oh shit!" And they're all excited and stuff, and he's just like, again, very religious person, so he's like fucking 50 lost souls. That's that's fucked up. Like he's not like, yeah, we fucking killed them or anything. He doesn't show that at all, and I really liked and appreciated that. I felt that was it's very different than a lot of war movies, whereas usually they're just like, yeah, fuck yeah, we bombed them, and you're just like, oh yeah, no, like I didn't even consider the loss of human life in general. And I think that's something this movie does very well, is kind of make you realize how many people, like every action has in war, every action has a consequence of death attached to it,
Yeah.
It's not just we won, everything's dandy. Like people die.
Yeah.
So. But I mean, after they get that first one, then everyone kind of settles down and everything. But then I think it's like, I don't know, they jump so many hours ahead, and that's when the entire wolf pack like reveals itself. Like they're like, oh shit, we see them, type of thing.
They slowly start giving away like their position, but the wolf pack's fucking with them the whole time because they slowly start picking off of their fucking that armada of ships or whatever that they have. They're just like, fuck you, and then the Hanks is just like, bro, like I can't keep up with these guys. They're just boom, going in, tagging them, going in, tagging them, going in, tagging them. And then it kind of turns into this high intensity, like kind of a clusterfuck where he's breaking his balls to kind of stay ahead of these guys and just keep moving and trying to protect and keep moving. And he's calling the other ships and giving them directions like, hey man, you need to break away because this is what they're doing. They're on your shit. So it's just, he's constantly just juggling everything, and everyone snaps when he says do something, but it just constantly feels like he's alone. Like it's
And the crazy, the super crazy thing is like because the looks of like concern for him growing as the movie goes on. Is because he doesn't sleep. The minute he takes that bridge, he doesn't sleep until they're fucking safe.
Yeah, he doesn't take any breaks. He doesn't eat. He doesn't sleep.
Yeah,
and towards he's just drinking coffee, and he's playing chess with these guys. And another thing that I just super loved is when he asks any of his crewmen to do anything, they almost come off like more extensions of himself, where you're just kind of like, I don't even know if that guy's a character, because no one really gets any character development. It's just a bunch of dudes wearing their gear, and maybe the XO gets a couple of lines where he pulls them to the side and he calls them up. A couple of them have standout lines, like you said, where he's just like, hey man, run this message. Or one dude comes up, he's like, hey, we can't do so much shit. Our fuel's you're burning our fuel with all these aggressive maneuvers. We're out of fucking charges. And he's like, yeah, man, I know we got like a 6 rack left or whatever. And that's kind of it. And they kind of almost act like maybe to me, it felt like he's doing everything, right? Because it's so seamless the way they respond.
Well, and it's I think that's very indicative of the military, especially at this time, of like, that's how the shit would go down. Like, they wouldn't be like, some sass mouth, like these are all kids and they're just like, we're going to fucking die if we mouth off.
It's not a Michael Bay movie where everyone's witty and has some sort of like dick grabbing fucking action line.
Both in love with that girl getting bombed during Pearl Harbor.
To me, it felt like you could totally remove this, and it's so the captain, and these are all extensions, right? So he's just making these moves, and when the other crewmen go to him and say, hey, we're out of this or we're doing that, it's almost like he's thinking he already knows that, but they're kind of telling him. It's almost like his conscience is being like, hey man, you make this move, it's going to cost you this. So it's almost like he's trapped in his own head and you're kind of there with him, because that's how you could perceive it that way, where it's just
and that, I think some of it is sleep deprivation. Like when they remind him like, hey, we're out of charges, like we have 6 left. But like it felt, he was just like, oh, but and he's like, remember, sir, I asked you, like they're very kind about it because they know this dude has not slept. We see like 6 shift changes throughout the course of the movie. This dude has not slept or left the bridge,
Yeah. And I think they kind of want to remind him because they trust him. They trust that we're in this heavy shit and he's going to get us out of it. He's the kind of like our only hope. So if we don't do what he says, how he says, but we need to let him know these are the tools that are readily available. So, hey, man,
exactly.
FYI.
So that he doesn't, it's to keep him from, making any assumptions or mistakes, they do a very good job of that. And I think it's like a really good balance. And then at some point I think after the first ship gets sunk, that's when the Grey Wolf kicks on their intercom, because he's given them orders, telling them, like, fucking stay in your post, don't get fucking antsy and shaky, and try to go out and be fucking heroes and shit, in a very like calm Tom Hanks way, not in like the way I said it. And then the Grey Wolf, man, I love this because you're just like, oh, this guy's just fucking taunting and toying with them. But what I loved the most about it was that Tom Hanks did not respond ever. Like, ever. He did not give in at all. He just got on and was like, all right, switch to fucking this. And then done. He was just like, no. But I love the Grey Wolf. He was just like, oh, like howling and shit. He was just like, you're a Greyhound, we're a Grey Wolf. We're going to hunt you. We're going to pick you all off. You're all going to die in the ocean. And it was just like,
yeah, basically he's just heckling them, and he's just like, hey man, I'm in your head now. We got you. You guys are fucked. And he's probably right. He's pretty much right.
Yeah. No, he did. Yeah. I mean, it's a great job. Like, and that's why I loved it that he didn't respond, because if he did, that, that's what that guy was looking for. He's looking for that doorway into his mind. He's like, come on. I'm taunting you. I'm saying things to piss you off and everything. Mm-hmm. And Tom Hanks is just like the whole time, just like, no, no.
Yeah, he just no sells it. He just keeps focuses on his team and getting these guys through.
Yeah, and I just love like the little nuances of the movie, like when the windows were fogging up and freezing over or whatever. He was like, get warm salt water, blah blah, and it like boom, you see someone doing it like 2 seconds later, like fucking doing all that and everything. And then I especially love whenever he'd send someone to his room, he was like, get this for me, put it over there,
Oh yeah, he was like, go get my coat, the fur one, and then he's like, go grab me. He's like, I need a cup of coffee. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
everyone was just an extension of him and his thoughts. That's what it felt like to me. Like he's in his own head. He's thinking, hey, I'm out of charges. This guy says it. You know what I mean? It felt like it was all done by one person. And that's what I really liked about it, because no one gave him any sass mouth where that sucks, because you're like, oh, we're not developing any characters, but we're not really here for that. We're just kind of here for his pinpoint precision, his no fucking around.
And honestly, when I was given the task was get these boats across without getting destroyed by U-boats. Like the war depends on a percentage of these boats getting across. I was like, that's what I'm invested in. I don't need character development. I need to see if they get these boats across. That's it. That is it. That's all I'm here for at this point. I just want to know, do they do that? You know?
And everybody, like, there's times where he goes to kind of celebrate with his team of like, hey, good call, or hey, I'm glad you did that. He doesn't even get some of their names right when he starts getting into that fatigue and stuff, and he's like, hey, I apologize, because he knows he has to do it with them. I don't know. It's just,
I love that he kept getting the names wrong, because it's like, when you think about it, there's only one captain. Everyone just has to know the one captain for the most part, you know, and whoever, you know, their direct supervisors and everything are. But like, he's trying to know the entire fucking ship, and he's doing an okay job of it on, you know, 0 hours of sleep essentially. And it's just like, man, it's crazy. You know, and the one guy from the mess hall died, and he like fucked up and called the other guy his name, and you could just see he was just like, oh, right.
Well, yeah, because he was so used to having those relationships with that guy of like, hey man, you give me the food, and
yeah, because that was like the one guy that was paying the most attention to him. He was like, oh yeah, he's just been, you know, that one scene where he's like, yeah, he's been awake and he hasn't eaten anything, and he's like, here's those peaches that you like, you know, and like
Cleveland
was just trying to, Cleveland. He was just trying to like keep him a little comfortable in this like situation, like because he just knew that about him, and I thought that was great. And you could like see the difference when the other guy took over and was just like, here's fucking pancakes and eggs and all this, like here's an acting. He just kind of looked at him like, what the fuck.
Yeah.
But the burial at sea, that was kind of like 3 of their guys die, and he's just
they take damage.
Stop.
Yeah, one of the boats get rocked, and then one of the subs are like, eat a dick, and fucking light up the front, but they fend him off. And it's not a big deal per se. You don't really see the carnage. You just kind of see the aftermath and him reacting to it. And that's why it's literally his point of view, man. This could have been like a first-person shooter, and it's through his eyes the whole time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I just, it's... And a lot of the fight scenes where like the U-boat was getting too close, like intentionally too close, so that they couldn't hit them with their guns and everything.
Yeah.
Like that was really just good. There's just a lot of like cool tactics that you get to see out in there. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's just destroyers. This destroyer versus these subs, and I mean, there's so like to go over every little minute thing they do would be too much. It's just basically him kind of just reacting to each scenario day by day, and his exhaustion becomes more prevalent. And there's so many like little great moments. I mean, the only thing, if I had to nitpick, I thought the guns sounded like shit, like the cannons. I really wanted them to hit a little bit more, just kind of be just, since I feel like you're so focused out of almost his perspective. Mm-hmm. And you're in like I said, in his head, and watching him seamlessly navigate these guys to these commands and stuff. I wanted the guns just to punch and hit so uncomfortably loud to kind of create that juxtaposition of like, boom, just this punching and his seamless and smooth confidence of going through everything while he's stressing out and trying not to fucking get everyone killed. I just felt like the guns could have been more impactful. With the audio. I mean, you know what I mean? They should have represented more to me.
I think that's why Tom Hanks is so disappointed that everyone's watching this at home instead of in the theaters.
No, that could be too, unless you have a killer system and you're just off. Because I think
otherwise, it's like, oh,
that to me hurt it a lot, because I don't want to feel like they're on these little CG toy boats because the CG is a bit rough in my opinion. I don't think it's as crisp, and I don't know. There was something about it where it just looked.
Yeah, no, there was so much separation, especially like I said, that opening scene where they're all in the perfect same line, and I'm like, listen, I know that'd be their goal. I don't know how realistic it would be to have 8 rows of 4 boats each in perfect lines.
I mean,
I just don't buy that, you know?
I don't know. That didn't really bother me too much. I just felt like the overall when they went to, because here's the thing, they're really smart about the camera placement where everything's very tight. It wants to give you that claustrophobic feel of like I'm on the boat with you guys. Yeah. There's not a lot of wide shots, or there's a few mediums when they have to relay information, and when you get outside of the cabin and basically the I don't know, the boat itself, I should say. The water looks a little and the boats look a little
Yeah, like when they almost hit that
the bridge
cargo ship.
Yeah, there's a bunch of fog, and they're at night, and he's like, "Hey man, watch out at night. We're going to freeze our ass off, and the visuals go down, and they might strike us at night because they'll have the edge."
Well, yeah, and the U-boat's fucking with them. You know.
Yeah, and there's kind of like the cat and mouse slasher type movie of like he's out there in the darkness, and then you get kind of spooked by this American. It's some sort of like cargo freighter, and it does a real like trading paint sequence where they're just like, "Whoa, we're almost gonna crash." It's totally.
I was just like, "Whoa, man!" 2003 called, and they were like, "Why are you still using this graphic engine?" Like,
yeah,
please stop. Use something better.
And to me personally, like I was like, well, the CG is not that great. The camera and the way that it was shot, it should protect it. You know what I mean? You should use the camera to kind of protect the bad CG and not just have the camera expose it every 5 seconds of like, look how questionable this looks. It's got the weird water and kind of the rain's kind of hiding it, but not really. It's just making you look at the flat boat. The boat just looks flat and doesn't pop. It doesn't look strong, you know.
Yeah, the water just never looked real. It just never looked like a real, especially the U-boats. It never looked like a real U-boat was popping out from the water.
Like real PlayStation 2 vibe. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
There's something.
It was just like, did you play Assassin's Creed on 360? Well, imagine if you played it on the original Xbox. And I was just like, ugh, no, thank you.
I was like, what's the question?
What did you just say?
Because, I mean, all the interiors and stuff are, of course, filmed on a real boat, and it looks great, and you're in there, and it's real immersive. And then I just felt the CG they needed it just to be a little more subtle on some of it, I felt. I don't know how you could do it when you got action and shit blowing up. I don't know. I don't do CG movies. Don't ask me. But I
don't do the CG fucking movie.
I get it. It's got the price. Can't go out there and start smashing boats together.
Yeah, it felt like maybe like that was an afterthought, or they were just like, fuck it. Like,
it just wasn't a priority in the budget or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So Hanks probably produced it, and he was just like, listen, I don't give a fuck how this CG boat looks.
Hank never said that.
They're here for the Hanks, okay? Everyone loves the Hank, man.
That's true. Remember last time I was on a boat, and I told those fucking refugees where to go?
And that one guy said, I'm the captain now. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
Oh, everyone loved that part.
And Tom Hanks was like, you are not the captain now. The budget was only $50 million, so...
Oh, man, that's walk around money for Hanks.
Yeah, that's not a lot, you know? But...
I could either have a good long weekend, or I can make this boat movie.
I'm sure he got at least half of that. No, I don't know. So that's why Sony sold it off. They were like, we're not putting any more in the CG, and we're going to put it on the Apple TV. That's where our movies go to die or thrive. We don't know yet.
I don't know, man. I doubt it.
The other 3 died.
This is clearly something he wanted done. So I bet you.
Oh yeah, no, this seemed like a real passion project. That's why I thought he directed it, but he was just like, nah, I just did the adaptation.
He probably took nothing to be in this.
Called Elizabeth Shue up and was just like, yo, Shue, what you doing?
Adventures in Babysitting too. Oh, that sounds sick as fuck.
She's like, I wish, but no, I'm not doing anything. He's just like, what about the Saint? You doing the Saint remake? She's like, listen, that first one wasn't really a good experience for me. I had to work with Val Kilmer a lot, and we got naked at one point and touched skin. Have you ever touched Val Kilmer's skin? It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant.
I see.
And they're like, hey, he's got the mouth cancer right now. Hey, that doesn't change his scaly fucking lizard person skin. Okay? I'm just saying. She's like, this is why I don't get a lot of work, by the way. I talk about Val Kilmer's skin.
Oh.
He's like, so you want to be? Yes, I do. Whatever it is, if it's a Jack in the Box commercial, I'll be there. Elizabeth Shue out. She just hangs up. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, honey, why do I keep calling Elizabeth Shue for fucking roles? You loved her to fucking Adventures of Babysitting.
Oh, that's sick. We should watch that tonight.
Goddamn right I did. Fucking good damn movie. Yeah, I mean, what else? Like, I really, and I'm going to bring up the slippers now since we're just jumping around anyway.
Well, I mean, there's really kind of nothing else to do. It's just cat and mouse between these subs, and it's a slow chess game, but it doesn't run slow. It's very quick. It's a very quick hour and 30 minutes.
That's the one, Eagle.
Yeah, it's not a destination movie. It's just kind of you watch it for the performance and you watch, I guess, maybe the visuals. I don't know what else people would really go to this, like a Tom Hanks fan, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you enjoy Tom Hanks? Does he ding all your bells for it? He's going to be very Tom Hanks in this movie. You're not going to think, oh, that's Tom Hanks, but you're going to be like, damn, he's really embodying that character. Give that man another fucking Oscar.
You know what? That's the thing. Like, I didn't find his acting particularly great. Like, it was good. He did fine, but yeah, I think I think
that's just the character he's playing doesn't have that much depth, you know.
And not even that. I just think I was just more interested in the way the subject matter was handled and presented, and that's why I liked it. It was refreshing to see. All right, we're doing a military Navy movie, and we're really treating it seriously. There's no there's no chuckles and butt fuck jokes and all. Like everyone's like, it's just, they felt really precise, and I believed everybody was running that fucking boat. You know what I mean? I believed it. I was in. I was like, man, these guys. If I need to destroy a run, I'm calling all these guys. You know, like that's what it felt like. That's what I really, really liked, is how serious he took it and how everyone came off, and I think that was like the big part for me.
Yeah. Well, I just want to talk about the slippers real quick.
I know you do, dude.
I know you keep trying to fucking take away my slipper thing. So the man's been awake. He's been on his feet. He sits down at one point, and he's just like, "Get me my fucking slippers." And it's freezing fucking cold. He puts on these fucking slippers, his lady love slippers, the monogram goddamn slippers. Puts them on. His feet are fucking bleeding. He finishes the fucking run in the slippers. I was just like, damn, this guy's hard. He's not complained about his feet once, but everyone's sitting there looking. They're looking at the blood all over the fucking floor. They're just like, Jesus Christ, how's this man still going? And I really like that, because that's like when I think of like the military, not like, hey, we killed all the people we were supposed to protect in this country, or, you know, like every Vietnam War movie where it's just like, oh, horrible. This is all horrible. That's why I say this is the good one, Kevin.
Well, I mean, like, here's the thing, right? We already stated how religious he was. So, and he understands the value of life. There's a couple of victories they get against the Wolfpack guys. Towards the end of the movie, when they kind of make it through the lurch, there's another boat that's just celebrating like they just won the whole fucking everything. And he's just kind of like, yeah, you guys are alive. We did it. All those lives that are cheering right now are alive because we were able to pull it off.
Yeah.
He's not just like, yeah, I fucking did it. He doesn't like grab his nuts and light up a stogie. He just kind of like, it's a somber moment where he's like, dude, a lot of people died, but I can see that a lot of people made it. And, you know, fuck, that's almost about as good as we can get it. I can't kill myself about that. And he doesn't, it's almost like a sad celebration for him in a way, if even, I guess, they do more to celebrate it. He does more of the reflecting.
Well, I think he realized, you know, not so much real, but he was able to visually see, like, it was like a nice visual reminder of like, yeah, that's why we did this, you know?
Yeah,
It sucks that the men we lost, but like those men or now have to go and fucking die for their country over there. They made it, you know?
Yeah.
We did our job. We protected them so that they could go over there. And
he was adamant.
I mean, I definitely think it was very somber because he didn't like, you know, he didn't salute. He didn't do anything. He just kind of looked and took it all in while they were like, and they were like just whistling and saying thank you and
yeah,
shit
they're
like
cheering
that.
the destroyer. The destroyer's rolling by, and they're just kind of like, "Yo, that destroyer, he got us to the end of the fucking race.
Yeah,
we did it. We get to fucking live another day." And it's just everything's real scaled down and simple, and it's not this overly produced like fucking dude bro ending. And you're just like, "Oh wow, that's actually nice." There's not like, you know, just banging hookers and drinking beer and just setting shit on fire. You're just like, wow, what a celebration. What? This is kind of out of place.
yeah. No, and you could see like just the camaraderie and stuff. There wasn't like this like, you know, the Navy guys were just like, fuck you, you Army shithead, stop cheering for us, or
dude,
like
even
weird shit like that. They were just like, yeah, us, all team us, yay, us.
No,
you know?
I mean, even with his fucking crew, he was just like, I don't know. He told the other dude, he's like, "Hey man, you got the fucking bridge. I'm out. I'm about to go take a break in my cabin." And that's it. He kind of like goes to sleep because he's like, "Dude, I just did a hard 4 days of life threatening
life in the
Nazis."
Atlantic, you know.
Like, yeah, it's just like, what the fuck? But
I mean, I think it was only 36 hours, but yeah, it's fine.
hey man, like it probably felt like 5 billion years.
Well, yeah, it's like 36 hours, but it was all high intense stress the entire time.
Just shits and pants.
Totally. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I know there was at least 4 shift changes, but I'm pretty sure there was like 6 shift changes, meaning, you know, everyone else went and got refreshed so that they could keep doing their job at the highest level, and he had to just do his job at the highest level without, you know, any relief, you know, so. And I really like Charlie. I liked when they were like sitting there doing the projection of like, oh, the U-boat's over here, over there, you know, like it was just, I don't know, it was really good. So.
I mean, that's the thing. Like the thing about this movie is that we can't go over every single thing and tell you how we felt and what we saw. It's just because it's so quick. It's so quick.
And it would just be like boat versus sub over and over and over and over.
Yeah, but like I said,
the boat versus sub.
It's a chess game that you get to experience, and they have little nuances and they pivot each time to make each engagement a little bit different, and it continues to kind of build up until you're kind of like, oh man, is this dude going to make it? Are they going to blow his ass out of the water? Yeah. Castaway 2, I see it already. You know, like it's.
Well, honestly, I thought that, you know, the alternative is a bunch of boats sink, and he is the last boat, and then like they make it through, and he's like failed at his job or whatever, you know.
Yeah, it went that way too. Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's very rewarding. I actually really enjoyed the movie, even the the minor nitpicks and stuff. I still just overall was just like, man, that was so fucking quick and like rewarding. I felt like really rewarded with this movie at the end.
No, yeah,
until they cut to show Elizabeth Shue one more time, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, man.
No, it's a fun movie. It's if you're into remotely anything of this nature, you're probably already seen it or want to see it.
Number 1 movie on Apple, according to Kevin.
According to the internet.
Yeah, but now I'm quoting you, so I got to quote you first, and then
because don't quote me. I just read something.
Don't quote me. Too late. We're quoting you. Apple's gonna be like our number 1 movie as per Us Versus Movie podcast.
Everybody's like, what? Stupid name.
What now? Fucking shut up, dude. Don't say that shit.
Apple, Apple, Apple. Say it 3 times in the mirror.
If you say it 3 times in the mirror, your Android phone will blow up.
Oh shit.
But if you say Android 5 times in the mirror, your Apple phone will just magically crack and you won't be able to afford to fix it.
Or you be like those people that were every time Apple drops a new phone, it's either like 4chan or something. They're just like, hey, they put out these fake ads that people think are real. You're like, you can charge your Apple phone in the microwave, and people are blowing up their phones and shit. I'm like, internet, you've done it again.
Well, anyway, that's I think gonna do it for us on this one. There's nothing left to say, Kevin. I mean, Kevin, would you give this a hard view or a hard pass?
A hard view? Do I squint my eyes?
Just like full staff the whole time, you know, just like fucking saluting the fucking flag with this one, guys. They're just like, Grandpa, take that off your pee-pee.
It's like, well, they almost had it under control until they had to be themselves. You know, it's easy if you like Tom Hanks. Like I said, it's not a huge character piece. It's just basically a journey. If you like boats, you like war shit, I'm pretty sure it's going to be up your alley. If you don't
like boat shit, so I was pleasantly surprised by this.
We're talking about the people, not what you like.
I know. I'm a people.
If you like boat shit, vote away. You know what I mean? Easy thumbs up. I mean, if you're just a sucker for Tom Hanks, don't care what he does, this is for you too. I mean, if you enjoyed
Lady Killers, you'll definitely like this a lot more.
If you just don't like war stuff or boat stuff or old boring World War II stuff, which I love, you probably will be like, skip-a-roo. But I recommend it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's fun. It's easy.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't like the boat stuff. And I was
like, get it. You love boats and monkeys.
You were like,
put a monkey in a boat. Dustin will watch it.
I'm not going to watch it ever. No.
Dustin will watch it every day for the rest of his life. I watched the
Curious George cartoon movie where he was in a boat, and I was just like, fucking gonna blow my brains out right now. Blow my brains out right now. I will say, if you don't like boat stuff, give it a shot. It's actually pretty good boat stuff. It's not boring boat stuff where they just talk to each other a lot. And you're just like, I don't know, could just someone die in a boat already, please? Yeah, I'd definitely give it a watch. Sign up for the 7-day free trial or whatever.
Yeah, stick it to Apple. Then you get nothing.
Get nothing. I don't support Sony either. So that will do it for us. You can find us at Us Versus Movie on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You can email us. If you want to email me, it's Us Versus Movie at Outlook. If you want to email Kevin, it's Us Versus Movie at Gmail.
If you want to fax us something.
If you want to fax us, it's Us Versus Movie. Just type in the buttons that correlate with that. Send us a fax. But if you got a movie recommendation, something you're dying for us to cover, maybe not something we already teased because that's probably already in the works. But if you got something else, we'll hear you out. I'm not going to make any promises because everyone pitches movies that they're just like, we just want you to suffer. And we're like, we don't always want to suffer. But we will hear you out and take in your suggestion, and then Kevin will shoot it down. On that note, Kevin, take us away.
I'm very open to whatever you suggest.
He'll shoot the fucker.
Is it easy to get a hold of? That's my whole thing. I got to be able to watch this.
I've pitched Hard Target 13 times. Shot down every time. Jean-Claude Van Damme? John Woo? The Bayou?
I think I saw that once. Years ago when it first came out.
Nice.
Cool.